Signature Bank Studios.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan Proft here. And so what else should we expect from the Trump administration in addition to his U.S. attorneys across the country, not just in Minnesota? His U.S. attorneys prosecuting fraud where it is unearthed and the evidence gathered and the case is made. In addition to turning off the spigot in states that feature fraud in their transfer payment systems, like the states for whom the spigot was turned off yesterday: Minnesota, New York, California, Illinois. What else could Trump do? I'll tell you, one suggestion I would have is to resuscitate Doge to deal with the stories that are coming fast and furious from around the country. Again, not just Minnesota. You also have clusters of seemingly fraudulent daycare centers in places like Seattle, Washington. This another independent journalist who goes under the handle the Unquirer on Somali daycare businesses in Seattle that are of dubious legality.
We got rain. So as you can see, no one here is answering. It's just past 10 a.m. right now. Hello, looking to get some information about childcare. Okay, so as you can see, I just asked about childcare. Is this childcare for children? It's not? Yeah, I just want to make sure this is Tawakkul House. Yes. Okay, just wanted to make sure. What's the email address? This is Marine Childcare here at 2918. Okay, how come I can't receive childcare here? Okay, face covering required. I saw this location on the Department of Children, Youth, and Families. I just saw you go in a moment ago, ma'am. Are you unfamiliar with this address right here, 2918, is listed? I don't know. The kid started to answer honestly, and his dad then became a bit panicked and rushed him inside. Hello? I saw you move the blinds. I'm just looking for some information about childcare, daycare. Looking for information about childcare, please. So the person just moved the blinds over there. There's absolutely someone here. This business is open right now, according to the DCYF website.
Mm-hmm. In all of this, which takes a site visit and the accessing of public records to see spend. And when the dots don't connect, because, for example, that story we played you out of Dublin, Ohio earlier in the show, you show up to a one-room office that's supposed to be a education resource center, and it's empty, and it's locked, and there's a camera outside, and it received $42 million in taxpayer funds, you say, well, golly gee, that doesn't seem to square. But as we talked with an attorney yesterday about the situation in Minnesota, all of this is drop ship the money to whoever presents as that they qualify. And in many cases, basically, it's easy to represent. Clearly, there is not rigorous fact-checking, background checking on the claims that are being made by applicants. So just drop ship the money out. And then, if somebody complains, on the occasion you may have somebody actually do a random site visit, then maybe there's some oversight if the records don't check out. Or maybe we just have you send in the records. You can fraud the records to get the fraudulent money, and we won't do any of that business. Maybe on the front end there should be some controls. This was something that Elon Musk and the Doge boys were talking about last year at the outset. you have money being sent without any coding in terms of what is this for, who is this to. There's no details on the front end such that even auditing is relatively easy. So it seems to me that this could be a job for DOJ to say, we need this sort of personnel on the front end. We need these sorts of financial systems and protocols in place on the front end so we can avoid trying to have to claw back, I don't know, $9 to $19 billion in Minnesota and tens of billions of dollars more just at present around the country that we're sort of back of the envelope figuring out based on random independent journalists. That's not a way to run a government and social service programs that are supposed to help people that are actually in need, is it? Well, maybe our friend Steve Moore can help us run this up the flagpole in D.C. Stephen Moore, of course, economist, Unleash Prosperity. Also the author of The Trump Economic Miracle and the Plan to Unleash Prosperity. Again, Steve, thanks for joining us. Happy New Year.
Hey, Dan, good morning. By the way, go Bears. Can we please beat the Packers? Can we please beat the Packers?
All right, we'll send your prayers up.
I listened
what about the
to what you
response?
just said. Yeah. So, first of all, this fraud is an epidemic. You're exactly right. It's not just Minnesota. It's happening mostly in blue states throughout the country. And one of the reasons it's happening, Dan, is because of this lunatic formula where the federal government sends all this money to the states for all these programs. Well, guess what? That sets up an incentive for the states to sign up as many people as possible for free daycare, for free food, for free housing, for free this, for free that. And we know this because a lot of the governors and a lot of the left-wing groups say, oh, yeah, go to the community, sign up everybody for these programs. It's an economic stimulus. That's what they say. This is a way to pump money into the local economy. So the whole system is designed to create rampant fraud, and now we're where we are today, where it's happening all over the country.
Right, but that's the point. So there's layers of profligacy rather than layers of oversight, and
exactly.
and the federal government as the backstop can maybe start to institute. If we can't get it from the bottom up in fraud states, then maybe we can get it from the top down out of D.C.
Now, one thing that has to happen immediately is that we need to go into the governor's office in Minnesota and take Tim Walz out in handcuffs. I'm serious. This guy has facilitated a fraud of huge dimension against federal taxpayers, all the people listening to the show, and he won't even resign from. He's indignant. Why should I have to resign from office? Now, he's not running for re-election, but we need to get very, very tough with these criminals, and he's a criminal, and he allowed it to happen. And it's happening throughout the country, and we could save hundreds of billions of dollars if the fraud were eliminated.
Just in terms of speaking about potential off-ramps for the public's attention here, when we do have their focus right now on transfer payment fraud, which is a nice thing to try to get, the pressure to address these things and hold people accountable. But one of the off-ramps in terms of diverting people's attention is the same discussion we were having towards the end of last year, of course, which is Obamacare. And give us your handle on where that stands in the prospect of another, temporary furlough of non-essential workers.
Well, before I answer that, I want to say one other thing about the fraud. We have these. You just played a tape from some of these independent investigators who are the ones who uncovered this fraud. The guy who started going to all of those daycare centers saying, well, there's no daycare center.
Yeah, Nick Shirley and others.
Where's CNN? Where's ABC? Where's NBC? Where's CBS? Where were the major, watchdogs that we're supposed to be finding? It's amazing that one guy with a camera can go in and find tens and tens of billions of dollars of fraud when the media had no interest in covering the story whatsoever.
Well, as I said before, just on that point, they try to make it about Nick Shirley, and he's a right-wing YouTuber, and Tim Walz said that in his announcement that he wasn't running again.
He should win a Pulitzer.
I know.
The guy he's a hero.
Well, he's also 10 years after the fact. The point is
right.
that this isn't about Nick Shirley. That you had local network affiliates reporting on these sorts of questions of fraud 10 years ago in Minneapolis.
Right.
You have News Nation doing current reporting. You have Nick Sorter at the Minnesota Hampton Inn that won't allow ICE agents. You have this guy that I just mentioned in Dublin, Ohio. You have a guy out there in Seattle, Washington.
Yep.
So I mean, it's you can't. They're trying to play the game. This is like, right wing media. It's invented. The video was doctored and stuff like that. It's coming from every direction, and in Minnesota in particular, it's been coming for every direction for a decade.
Exactly. But my point, I mean, I agree with you entirely. My point is, yeah, it's coming from some of these right-wing investigators because guess what? The media won't cover the story.
Yes, of course.
I mean,
of
they're
course.
not interested in the story.
Of
So
course.
anyway, if you think I have steam coming in my ears, I do because I'm so angry about this. And it's been going on and on and on. And now they want to expand. So now to your question about Obamacare, there's no program that's had more fraud than Obamacare. My God, the costs continue to escalate. The insurance companies are getting rich. The hospitals are getting rich. And we have worse care today by many measures than we did 10 years ago. The costs have doubled. I mean, this is the anatomy of a failure. And, let's get Obama. Let's get Obama up in front of the Senate and explain why this program was called the Affordable Care Act.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I stipulate everything you said, but what do you think? Where do things stand on the Hill? Is the point? Is the question?
Well, I'm avoiding the question, Dan,
Yeah, I know.
Because you know the answer to that question. The Republicans are, Republicans are probably going to cave in. Because, they don't want to see those headlines of those mean Republicans taking off, mothers and kids off of health care. I mean, that's what they do every time. And that's how we've come up with this corrupt health care system. And I'll say it again. The biggest lobbyists for expanding Obamacare subsidies are the insurance companies because the money, 70% of the money goes right into their coffers, folks. This doesn't help poor people. Don't be naive. This is about the corporate welfare state in Washington.
Yeah, well, I mean, if it goes down that way, I mean, again, their calculations may be off, or they're going to try to appeal to voters they can't get by discarding voters they could and who won't come out for them in November. I don't know how that political calculus may work for a couple of Republicans like Lawler in New York, who is really becoming an annoyance, but it doesn't work for the caucus writ large. Steve?
Yeah.
Did we lose?
No, you're right.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? I'm sorry, I lost you
yeah.
there for a second. But this is a big story. Americans are they want affordable health care. It's one of the reasons that people feel like there's an affordable crisis. And Republicans are just simply saying, look, if you're making 5 times the poverty rate, maybe you shouldn't be getting your health care from taxpayers. You can make up to $500,000 a year and get Obamacare taxpayer subsidies. That's the most absurd thing I've ever heard.
Before we let you go, I know you're anxious to comment on this too. The U-Haul 2025 migration index is out. Don't keep us in suspense. Where was Illinois versus, say, a Florida or a Texas?
Well, everybody's moving to Illinois right now. There's a gold rush to move to Illinois. Everybody's moving out of Miami, and they're moving out of Orlando and Tampa. I'm being facetious, of course. So, Illinois was near the bottom, but it's not as bad as New York and New Jersey. And by the way, the most amazing thing is California. In the last, since 2000, California has lost a net 4 million people. Can you believe that? I mean, domestically. Now, they have immigration coming in. But how do you screw up California, Dan? I mean, here's a state that has the most beautiful mountains, beautiful beaches, beautiful weather, beautiful women, and people are leaving in droves. I mean, and the good news is Illinois, the out-migration is not as bad as it is in California. But it is interesting, isn't it, that the highest tax states, Illinois, New York, New Jersey, California, and Connecticut are the states that people are packing up their bags and leaving.
So I'm reading this. By the way, we're not as bad as California, but we're worse than everyone other than California. So it's not much solace there.
New York is going to try to take you this time because now they've got a guy who believes in the warm embrace of collectivism because it works so well in Venezuela.
Yeah. It's interesting too. So, I mean, basically it's just a continuation of what's been happening for a decade. It's a move to the southeast as well as Texas and the Sun Belt, particularly Arizona, and it's a move away from California, Illinois, and the Northeast. That's basically the summation.
My only point, but I want to put an asterisk on your summary because it isn't just the weather.
No, of course.
People do move to Florida and Arizona because the weather is nice. But if that were the case, then why would people be leaving California? They can't. Or why are people leaving Hawaii, for goodness sakes? So people leave.
Right. People are leaving San Diego for San Diego for Houston. It's not because of the weather.
Right? That doesn't make a lot of sense, right? So you want a prosperous state. Get rid of your high taxes in Illinois, and the property taxes, by the way, are just killing people in the Chicago area.
So we've heard. Thanks for Steve Moore, economist, author of The Trump Economic Miracle and the Plan to Unleash Prosperity Again, and a diehard Bears fan, as you can hear. Steve, thanks as always. Appreciate it.
You too, Dad.
And he joins us on the Turnkey.Pro answer line.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
If you or someone you love are getting high quotes for dental implants, visit almostfreeteeth.com